thing. I don't believe that there's different frequencies. I believe they travel at, like, you know how Flash says there are different frequencies, right? But think about it this way. If you have
It's just
something,
them vibrating faster.
no, I don't think it's even vibrating. This is what I think is just happening.
It's
okay?
on different timelines.
So look here.
It's
Look here. Last thing, and then you got to talk all you want. Deal?
No.
We're gonna have a break after this a little bit.
Okay, so here's the thing, okay? This is the direction of time, right? The direction of time. You see it, right? Direction of time. Time's moving forward, okay? Now, even though time is moving forward for everything, you see how this graph just moves straight, but this graph is like this, and this graph, even though a lot of events are happening, time is slower, right? I think what they mean by different frequencies is that time is moving slower in some dimensions rather than others. But you won't really notice that unless you bring a clock from a different dimension.
Okay, what if it's this? What if it's in different timelines?
Yes.
They're all. What if these branches are different Earths, and
They
this
are.
is time?
Mm-hmm.
So what if there's two? One is going vertically, okay? These are the branches of Earth, okay? And time is heading this way, and it's branching off. And where they intersect is where main events happen on Earth, on those Earths, and in those timelines.
You just gave me a brain tumor, right? What was that?
I don't know.
I don't know. Like, I don't understand at least. So what you're trying to say is,
It's kind of like a grid
okay. Oh, I
where
think
they
I know.
intersect.
So I think I know what you're saying.
So you know how
So
time
there's-
is X?
So you're
Earth
trying to
is
say
Y.
that there's a timeline, and then there's
An Earth line,
not an Earth line. You're trying to say there's
a dimension line.
a moment line.
Yeah, I guess no, like a place line. I don't know.
Not a place line. Like
a
it's
dimension line.
No, it's not a dimension line. It's like when something happens,
I don't know how to explain
like
it.
a happen line,
No.
Event line?
event line.
Yeah, I guess maybe.
So what
I
you're
don't
trying to
know.
say is that there's an event line, and then there's a timeline. Okay, but if you give this diagram,
And that's only in a universe with 3 dimensions, because we see 2 dimensions.
oh geez,
If
here
there's
we
a
go
4th
again.
dimension, then there's going to be 3 of them. But we
Oh,
don't know which
geez,
the
here we
3rd one
go
is.
again.
So would you think that events happen without a time?
But here's the thing, Mogesh. In this diagram of yours, okay, with a timeline and an event line, okay?
I don't know how
They're
to explain
going-
it. I don't want to say it's an event line because
Like-
that could happen in time.
No, here's the thing. There will be certain points, like in this graph, there will be certain points where they don't intersect. So are you trying to say that time
I'm
is
trying to
stops?
explain this. It's in like different.
Okay. You want to know?
You know how in Flash they differentiate between timeline and worlds, even though they're
The same
connected,
thing,
and you want to say that there isn't different frequencies. So what?
but rather different time speeds.
Yeah. What if
But
it's
since-
just different worlds branching off, and time is branching off with them, and it just depends
Because
on where they connect?
no, I
for
don't
things
think
to
of that
happen.
way because why would different worlds branch off when there's nothing to help it branch off? Like, let me give an example. I think I saw this in Sonic, which is the stupid part. At one point, time was stopping. Okay.
Okay, what if
No.
it's
If
time
when
that
time
helps it
stops,
branch off?
okay, when time stops, all events and all decisions stop. Okay, including yourself, because you'll just be frozen in a frame of time. Okay, you can't really move. You can't really do anything. There's nothing to do in a world where time is stopping. Okay, so different worlds can't branch off. Unless what you're saying is the timeline and the world line are like closer connected and they're like really connected, something like that.
That's a mesh.
Yeah, like a mesh.
A
Then
mesh
that would
of
make
time
sense.
event. Just like time space, a mesh of time event.
Okay, so what you're saying is the world lines can't separate on their own. What if time helps them separate? What if it usually starts out as just one, time intersects with that point, and then creates a new one?
But that's creating it.
No, here's the thing. This is your world line, okay?
Mhm.
Your world line will stay a world point unless time intersects with it. And once time intersects with it, though your world line could go to infinite worlds. Any world at all. Okay? But if you really think about it, I mean, if you want a simplified version, then yes, if your timeline intersects with your world point, it will create world. Why is this such a tongue twister? World lines. Okay?
But this is assuming there's more than one world. See, this is a lot of assumption.
So you're coming back to my theory of infinite timelines?
Yeah, sure, whatever. But that's only assuming there's only one world.
One universe, you mean?
Mm-hmm. You've got to consider the fact that there could be multiple.
Yes, so that brings us to a discussion of the brain theory.
Now that brings us to a discussion of how we're going to hurt our brains today. So we better take a break.
Now we're going to take a break, but have you heard about the brain theory?
No.
The membrane theory, actually. It's in short called the brain theory. You can watch that documentary later. Because the brain theory talks about multiple universes banging into each other, just like a loop that Mukesh was talking about, but it's a little bit differently. It's like all this universe in separate membranes and they come crashing into each other, and that's what we assume is a big bang. And then you can think about your theories, how that collides into that. But these are all assumptions. The brain theory, they don't have any proof about that. But they talk about parallel dimensions existence based on the brain theories. And you can see that. I think it's also by Brian Greene, the other guy. So we're going to watch that documentary next time and then have more discussion on this. I think this is a fantastic discussion. It's interesting how you started off with physics, with a couple of graphs, right? Yeah, velocity, distance. So this is the most amazing thing about discussing. And two great minds discussing together is that once you start discussing for simple things, then you can actually move on to very complex. And you know what? A lot of these discussions in the world has given rise to completely new discoveries. Many. Okay? So that is the reason I wanted you two guys to stick together for the rest of your life and keep discussing. Maybe someday you'll come up with theories that no one has ever thought about and would be able to explain a lot of things that people haven't yet. Okay? So motivate yourself, push yourself to have more discussion. I can keep giving you more foods for thought, and I can give you more complex projects to think about, and that might just take, at some point I didn't understand even what you're talking about. Like it kind of crossed my capacity. Right, so that happens. You guys, you both are very, very talented, and it's amazing how you can keep carrying this on to and take it to a new level. Okay, Mukesh, you probably have half an hour, right? We'll do something about that. Okay.
Take a break.